Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So Neil Druckmann again is insisting on being the star of the show here, even though he's got really fierce competition from Troy Baker. There is this article in Push Square in which Neil Druckmann speaks about The Last of Us Part 2, and he speaks about the kind of hate that he and his team got for this game and whatnot. So I have highlighted only very few things here. You can read the article, link in the description down below if you want to. So the first thing that I highlighted, he says we have an actress, she's been getting really awful, vile stuff because of fictional character she's playing in the game. Okay, yeah, it's not really good to send threats to those people. It's not worth it even, but there are some people out there who can't express their anger other than this. I don't agree of it. It is what it is. We cannot really change people. However, this actress right here is someone who has been shitting on the people who criticize the game and who give it a bad score on Metacritic and elsewhere. And she told in a tweet that these people are bots, Russian bots. So if you don't like the game, you're a Russian bot. Pretty much stupid from her and from anyone to think that Russian bots have the time for your stupid ass game. If Russian bots would do anything, I think they would do it like on a larger scale. I digress. This is where it gets really spicy. He says something that he got from someone else called Craig Mazin, but they share the same opinion. He says he articulated it pretty well about Mazin. It's like people have to get educated, this kind of the cost when you're doing something big. Okay, so Neil Druckmann of all people is going to educate us. Remember, this person is the one who told people to fuck off if you don't like what we do, and this person is the hypocrite who wrote in his Twitter account that they have love and respect for people. And this is the very same person that sent goons to Vice in order to shut them or to extort like a more favorable review for The Last of Us Part 2 because they didn't like the game. And they had an opinion. They dared to have an opinion that is different from Shell Media.
Join us, and the rewards shall be bountiful.
I have my own thing going on, but thanks.
Join us, and the rewards shall be bountiful.
And he says this is the kind of thing that when you're doing something big, what a big thing are you doing? You're just a stupid ass writer who doesn't even know how to write a story. You did actually write something good back in the day, but right now, in this very game, it's just stupid ass. Deal with it. So you want to educate us. So you want to educate the internet, the whole population. You think that you are better than these people. Whereas in fact, there are a lot of people in the internet and elsewhere who are a lot more educated than you are, like miles away. And they know way better than you do. But yeah, because you're this ignorant, pretentious, disgusting, patronizing individual, you want to educate us. Stick that education up in your ass because we don't need it from you of all people. And then Jason Schreier just tweeted, games are too long. And guess who got into the discussion? It's Troy Baker himself. And Troy Baker saying, I'll leave this here. Jason Schreier said, I'm sorry, this is one of the funniest things I have seen on Twitter in a long time. It actually is. So Troy Baker is shitting on the critics that didn't like the game. And he's shitting on critics like on a large scale without him knowing that he did so. So even if you praise his game, he's going to shit on you because he thinks that critics don't deserve to give their opinions about a work. The man in the arena, it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. I would be very concerned if blood is in the making of a game. That's a very high IQ comparison there. Who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails with daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never knew victory nor defeat. So he's taken a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, taking it out of context and saying that this is really something very smart to put out these words to describe critics and people who make games. So this quote is reduced from a context of war and a context of whatnot to the context of video games. I mean, this man is just really crazy, and he thinks that he is someone important, and he thinks that he has some really strong words to say. I mean, I'm not shitting on him on the side of his performance in the games. I think he did a good job to voice act Joel. But as a personality, and the way he thinks, and the way he seems to be so butthurt and so thin-skinned that he cannot handle criticism, and he jumps on things like, just a generic tweet from Jason Schreier saying that games are too long. Yeah, come on, man. Hold your horses there. Be calm. I think the best example that these game makers should learn from is Hideo Kojima. Not in the sense of the quality of the games he makes, but also in the sense of being totally composed and not jumping in, because the more you speak, the more you show up who you really are. And sometimes some people just really shouldn't show who they are, because the more they show, the more they embarrass themselves. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. Leave your opinions. I am always happy to hear and read opinions, as long as they are formulated in a good way. Even if they don't agree, it's totally fine, and without trying to educate each other, just like Neil Druckmann is trying to do here. Anyway, have a good one. I'll talk to you again soon.